right, we can be seen now, everybody, and heard.
Hello, hello.
Hello,
Oh
hello,
no.
everyone.
Oh no. I think we put the scared face on now. Oh god. Oh no. No, we're fine. We're fine. Breathe. We're good.
Karine has a lot of wonderful faces for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, have fun with all of that.
I have a glorious number of 5.
And Tubby starting with the bums. Let's go.
Booty, booty, booty,
Yeah,
booty.
but
Oh, I see a ton of my cat's butt.
You
She
bring the
makes sure
booty,
of
I'll
it.
bring the birds. I got the birds.
Ooh, I do. I really love those. Those are great.
sure, please.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another interview. Today we have our first guest, Karine, with us. Karine, how are you doing?
Hello. I am nervous, but excited. I
Hey,
wish I could wave. My arms don't work. They're broken.
same.
One day, they just kind of sit here. They exist, though. I promise. I have arms.
We'll believe it
They're-
when we see it. How about that?
That's proof. I shall show the model. I have feet too, if you believe it. They do exist.
Nice. So yeah, you do have like a full model and everything. It's just obviously right now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's a full body model. You just really only see from like the torso up.
Hey, there you go.
If I lean back, look, you can see I have a little belt.
Aw.
Lean real far back though.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you were leaning pretty far back there. But anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and we'll start off with everything. So this is Karine. She is one of the members of Shadow Stream supporters, which obviously we're on the channel, so we're all part of that. I would hope. If you aren't, let me know. We'll fix that. But anyways, Karine. So we're gonna start off the interview with you and everything. So we're gonna start off with pretty basic and simple. Um, who is Karine, and what do you stream like on a normal basis? Like, what's your go-to stream stuff?
Myself as a variety streamer, I do a lot of various games. I kind of like whatever I fancy at the moment. But a lot of times you guys will see me in what you probably know me from, which is Dead by Daylight. It is my go-to love and joy and pain and suffering. It's a
All
love-hate
of the above.
relationship with that game. I have what I call an unhealthy addiction to it. um, and who is Karine? That's hard to define. A little bit of my backstory, like how I came to have the username and everything that I have, is Karine is the closest iteration to my real name in French. And then Nachigeru is nightingale in Japanese, which is the word for, or well, which nightingale is a type of bird, which is why my community is, and my followers are called the flock.
Okay.
And I'm referenced as the mother of birds.
Better
I used
question.
to have
Why is
I used to
Karine?
have wings. Why is green? Oh, does come back in a few years, maybe I'll know. I don't know.
I don't even know why is monkey. So yeah.
um, yeah. That's one thing that when I was I started out as I started out with um no avatar, just my voice. And then I updated to like a PNG avatar, which some of you might remember. And I miss her because I had little wings, but my wings are gone,
You
and I
can
don't
add
know how to
those
get
to
them
your thing.
back. I know, I gotta figure it out. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to be help.
I can help you. I've got wings on mine.
Oh my god, that would be great. Yeah, because they go on my head is the thing. I have little head wings.
Aw. Definitely looking forward to seeing that back on you and everything.
Yeah, that's the only thing that was a little bit sad from going from my PNG avatar to my V-Ride model. Um, So I lost my little head wings, but we're working to get him back. It's just figuring it out. It's a bit of a learning curve.
Streaming is a little bit of a learning curve, so
100%. I've been doing it for about what 2 years now, and I still have so much to learn. There's still so much that I don't do on stream that I could do, and I feel like I'd improve it a lot.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah, no, like I've officially been streaming under Monkey for about 2.5, 3 years, something like that. But like I've technically been in the streaming business for upwards of like 7 years. And yeah, it changes, it grows, it retracts itself back into something else, and then yeah, it's all over the place. It's wonderful.
It's ever evolving.
Definitely a grind.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But
It's
yeah,
really difficult. It can, or at least it can be,
oh,
but it's also
absolutely.
really rewarding, I find.
You seem to do quite a lot of long streams. Is there any reason why?
I was gonna talk about it. I don't know what happens. um,
Just get started, and you can't. You just keep going.
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a weird thing. So a little bit more. I guess something that's important to know about me, if you come to my stream, is that I suffer from what's called invisible disability. Like I have this might I guess trigger warning, injury warning. Watch out, guys. But a few years ago, I was in a car accident. A lady was on her phone and she hit me on the highway and murdered my first car. um, just the car, not me. We're good. We're a little damaged, but we're good. But because of that, it caused permanent nerve and muscle damage to my neck, which makes streaming, gaming, working, like anything you would do normally, a lot harder. And so because of that and my work schedule, I have a really crazy work schedule. I can work anywhere from, like a normal 40-hour week to like 80. It just kind of depends because I work in logistics. Um,
Oh yeah,
so,
That's always fun.
I help ship your shit. Oh, sorry. I said he. My bad.
it's all good.
But yeah, so sometimes a lot of times I end up having to, like, cancel streams because of either, like, physical health or sometimes mental health, which I find is a good thing, but it's a hard thing because the time I get to stream is kinda limited. So, usually, if I'm streaming and the stream is just going well and I'm vibing with it, I just keep going, and I won't even realize a lot of the time how long it's gone. Um Like, cause I can go like, a normal stream, like a standard stream, I'd say is maybe 6 to 8 hours. A short stream is, like, 4 or less for me. Um, a long stream, I guess, would be, like, 13 hours or more. And then every year I do like, for Halloween, I always do a 24-hour Halloween stream.
Let's go.
I think I might start doing something similar for Christmas or Christmas adjacent. And then I recently did my, like, first ever, well, it was, like, my second ever, but it was the first successful subathon, which we went 44 hours for.
Yeah, I think I was in there for a good like 28 or
Yeah, that was
30 of it.
fun.
Not like
Awake and conscious.
awake and conscious, but like lurking probably I'd say about
Existed.
2/3 of it. And then I'd pop in and be like, "Hey, you're still going. Okay, cool."
Yeah, I don't know how. I did a 4, well, technically it was 40 hours of straight streaming. I took a 4-hour power nap.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you
Uh,
kind of have to.
I don't know how how I lived, how I survived, because that was definitely a heck of a experience. Because usually I'm fine on like the 24-hour streams. I don't start feeling it until like hour 18, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little. I'm starting to feeling that I've been streaming for a while.
Mhm.
Um, but that one, 44 hours, I was like,
Oh,
I'm dying.
absolutely.
But it
Yeah,
was a
after
lot of
44,
fun.
just ooh. Like I've worked for 32 hours straight, which that in and of
Oh gosh.
itself is not a fun experience. Honestly, would have much rather streamed for 32 hours straight, but yeah, like it does things to your body too, especially you're just like, oh my gosh, like I passed out after I was done working for a full 24 hours. Like I woke up like, oh hey, yeah, it's morning. And it's like, yeah, it's morning of the day after you went to sleep.
Yeah, that's one thing I would say is like, especially if you struggle with like physical or any sort of health thing, be careful about streaming. Like, make sure you take care of yourself. Don't lead by my example. Because I do a lot of long streams, but I enjoy them. I do them because I have fun, and I really don't even notice the time passing a lot of the time. But I definitely do feel it afterwards. And you got to be careful with that. Like streaming is, it's fun. It's something we do because we enjoy it, but it can be a bit taxing. It can be like a job because you're sitting there, you're engaging, you're active for X amount of hours. You're talking, so you got to make sure you hydrate, you take care of your voice, get up and stretch, things like that. And because you can wear yourself out.
That's why you'll see in
Oh
most
yeah, for
streams people
sure.
have like stretch or hydrate redeems, just so that
Yes,
way you can help us take care of ourselves.
yes, they're what I call on my channel. I call them the keep me alive checks.
Speaking
the
of,
like the
yeah,
hydrate. Hey, let's hydrate. Everyone hydrate. But
I
like
hydrate with
the
salsa
hydrate,
because I
the
love it.
posture, I have one on my channel called breathe.
Take a breath.
hmm
Sometimes you
Um,
need to.
100%. Because I get I don't know if you guys watched the let's try that again. Dead by Daylight tournament. That's all, folks.
I might have
No.
been watching it just a little bit.
If you guys watched it, you might have gotten an idea. But I especially since we were doing competitive, but like in general, I do a lot of call outs in games because I like to communicate. But also when I'm in chase, sometimes it's like, there's like a lot of pure panic, like, oh my god, that's the wall. Oh my god, what the hell's happening? How did he miss? I spot him. Ah! I died. It's very
Purely
glorious.
methodical and everything, and all of a sudden the killer's after you, and it's just like,
Pure chaos.
like
Yeah.
all thoughts just exit the brain.
The I'm in danger noises.
Exactly.
Just unintelligible screeching.
My
Yeah, most
favorite
definitely.
especially is like when I do like mirror Myers and stuff, and I'll get
No,
people in
no.
my chat afterwards and they're like, you literally made me crap my pants with some of those. I'm just like, yes, this is what I live for.
I love spooky killers in Dead by Daylight. I feel like I'm so used to Dead by Daylight that's really hard to get spooked. So whenever there's a good scare, like a good like ghosty, oh my gosh, or a good scratch me or Myers. Like I have a couple clips where like I put myself. Ah, there's like this especially good one of a ghost face where my friend, my one of my like closest friends and beloved mods, we duo a lot in Dead by Daylight, and he's like, I'm scared. I think he's by me. He's like talking about the killer being there the whole time. And then suddenly, next thing I know, and he's like across the map from me. I'm at the killer shack. Next thing I know, I'm exposed. I'm like, oh shit. And I start to run out the door, and he's right there. Dead. Done. I screech. I drop my controller. I hyperventilate as he takes me to the dungeon. And I'm just like, you lied to me. He's here. What do you mean?
That reminds
I
me
was
of,
bamboozled. I was
so
bamboozled.
it's unfortunately not on my channel because it was just like back when my friends and I were just playing Dead by Daylight when it was first coming out, and they had just released Myers. And so I was like, well, I love his movies. I'll try him out. And we didn't read any of his perks. I didn't know he was completely silent in tier 1 until after. So I'm just standing there while my friend opens a chest, and he's just like starts finally looking around, and I'm like, "Hi." And he's like, "Oh shit." And like just like I can hear him back up into his chair and then fall on his ass on the ground. Like he tipped his entire chair down. And I'm just
Oh
standing there and
no.
I'm just like, I'm gonna let you be. And you just see me like slowly move backwards back into the corner.
Oh my gosh, Myers is such a good scary one. I have a friend who in the OG days, like we do KIFs a bunch.
Hmm.
And Kill Your Friends, for those who don't know, it's a custom game mode in Dead by Daylight. But he loved doing spooky killers to mess with us. And he did,
Absolutely.
there's this clip where I'm like Nia and I'm doing the gen and I'm like, I don't know, I took a drink or something. I made the mistake of trying to hydrate while gaming. How dare. And then I just hear, "Hi, Karine." And then he grabs me off the gen. He just appears from the shadows on Dead Dog Saloon. I'm like, there's no shadows. Where did you come from? Ah. But no, I live for those moments. I love it when it can be spooky.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. It's some of the best moments in gaming when like you're like obviously not everyone likes horror and stuff like that and like the
Mhm.
jump scares, but like when you play these games enough and you kind of like get numb to a bunch of the scares, all like getting those scares, you're just like, "Oh my gosh, this is refreshing."
Exactly.
My heart is beating at 5 million miles a second, but I'm alive.
I feel alive, but I'm gonna die. Time to go.
Exactly. But yeah, so we've obviously talked about like what a lot with what you would like to stream, who you are and stuff. What specifically brought you to streaming? Um, like what was the
Uh,
catalyst?
okay, so I feel like I don't know. I kind of have a cliche. I can't talk. I'm sorry. What are words? Words are hard. Kind of a cliche, like motivation in a way.
Mhm.
I a lot of us kind of grew up with like the YouTube era and things like that. So there's a lot of creators that I was watching that I was really inspired by. Um, and I always wanted to try creating to, you know, sustain myself. And I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'll ever be there. Right now it's just, something I do because I like it and it's a nice way to interact with people and meet people that I never would have met otherwise.
Mhm.
But I so basically I was inspired to like go after it by a couple of different streamers or content creators that I started seeing. And in a way, and maybe this is why it's so like heavily involved in my channel, but in a way, Dead by Daylight was a little bit of a catalyst because there's a lot of streamers I saw during like the early days of that game that kind of made me want to just try it. One of which was Puppers. I don't know if you guys know Puppers and Stream Dad IRL. They're both really positive oriented, like family oriented streamers.
I,
Um,
I at least know Stream Dad.
yeah. And I've actually like it's amazing and it's like kind of a crazy thing, which is why I would recommend anyone to just, you never know what might happen, but to try it because like I have gotten the chance to like play with Stream Dad, like playing games with an idol of mine, which makes me sound fangirly, but it was really cool. And he
Mhm.
like knows who I am now, and that's kind of insane for, I feel like anyone who gets, that's part of like the joy of going to view streamers is getting that recognition, building that cadence, that correspondence with them. I feel like that's super special, especially if there's someone you admire.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. It's just it kind of happened. It was those individuals and then also just kind of being like, you know, F it, why not? Like, let's just do it. Let's try. Because like I'm not getting any younger.
And what's the worst that's gonna
And
happen?
yeah, and like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it was hard. I mean, it is still hard. But I feel like there's so many people I've met that I couldn't imagine where I'd be if I didn't know them now.
Hmm.
And that makes it worth it. The people who, you take time off or because everyone's got real stuff to deal with. Like, we're all people. I might look like a cute little anime girl, but I'm a person back here. I'm real. Unfortunately. I exist. I have realities. I have responsibilities. I have adult responsibilities. But,
We all
you
can
know,
paint it that one.
when streaming gets too real. But train of thought come back to me. I was on a roll. Don't derail. Um but I don't know. I think it's something that's worth trying. If you're curious about it, try it. But if it's not for you, you know, don't be afraid to don't feel obligated to force yourself to do it either. Because there's a lot of people I've met who have stopped streaming because they either got frustrated with it or they weren't doing the things they like, or maybe it just wasn't for them.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. It's not for everyone. And if it's not for you, maybe try other things. Maybe try short form content if you still like to interact and engage with people. Like there's lots of different ways to kind of build that community, to reach out to people and to grow. Um but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of it was kind of around like when everything was getting crazy too. I just decided to like start going for it more adamantly. Cuz I think I was just so into work and stuff that I needed a break. I needed a way to interact with people because I was doing crazy work days. I didn't get a chance to like go out and do anything. It was literally just go to work, come home, and I started out streaming for just like 2 days a week.
Right.
Until I hit affiliate in like a couple months. So I don't know. If it's something you guys want to do, or if you're something you're curious about, I'd say try it. And if you're scared to do it alone, I'd say do it with friends. Start doing
Absolutely.
some community games with like some people you trust. Just make sure that they kind of understand, TOS and things like that. But that's a big help because for me, you would think this is not possible for a streamer, but I'm like kind of an introvert. It's really hard for me to interact with people usually. But
Same.
streaming and I'm frankly I'm not a confident person. Like I don't have confidence in myself at all. But
Also
I feel like
same.
streaming has in a weird way helped mitigate that. I'm not there yet. I still struggle with like all the same stuff, but it's easier now than it was when I started. And that's crazy.
Yeah, and progress has been made, and like I
Mhm.
mean, I 100% agree. Like I'm an extroverted introvert, but
Mhm.
I definitely lean a bit more towards the introverted side of things, where it's like I can be the life of the party, I can be fun and everything, but it's like at a certain point you just hit that mark of just like I want to go home, I want no one to be near me, and I want to just be by myself. Um,
Mhm.
which like obviously as a streamer, like that's the opposite of what you want to do if you want to be successful. But like at the same time, it's just like it's actually quite funny because like it's always so funny when like you look at like the big people like Markiplier, like one of my idols, Nanners, and stuff like that. Like
Oh my gosh, nanners.
they're
Nanny.
huge introverts. Like
Mhm.
Markiplier, he's like, yeah, I can be extroverted, but like 9 out of 10 times, I would much rather just be home, with maybe with my girlfriend, and that's about it, and my dogs. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I can understand that wholeheartedly. Like, all I if I have like an animal with me, it's just like that's all I need. I'm good, thank you. Um, but no, 100%. Like, yeah, it. So like you were saying, like never be afraid to like try. And another thing I will add on is like don't be afraid to reach out to streamers and like try and build connections with other streamers, because like a lot of the games that I've gotten into, like Dead by Daylight, I got back into it simply because um I one of my closest streaming friends now, Snacks Attack, um I just randomly was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this stream, I'm gonna see what she's about. And she was like, hey, if anyone wants to join, I have a spot. And I'm like, sure, why not? And all of a sudden, like now I'm playing it religiously and, just having fun being either a killer or a survivor. And then hopefully Goose isn't here because I'm gonna have to talk good about him, and he always gets a huge head when I do that. But Goose made how I play killer pretty much because I heavily do the whole like I will try super hard when I start out and I'll get everyone on 2 hooks and then I become like the friendly killer where like yeah, I might slug you on the ground and stuff, but I'll pick you up and I'll let you get out, and stuff like that. Like I'm still very friendly to people and I'll probably just mess with the survivors while they, gather their points, but absolutely like a lot of what I do on my channel has been brought in from like the friends that I've made.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I would say because I feel like streaming, everyone can have their own like unique take on it, but we all learn from someone. We all get ideas from one another. So don't be afraid to see what people do and are successful with, and then see if it works for you. Obviously, don't like one for one their idea without permission, but like if they're trying out a game or maybe a type of engagement or something like that, it could be good to try it out. And then also a lot of communities like the Shadow Stream supporters, my community as well, like we have whole sections of our discords dedicated to like helping people out with stream, whether it be tech or at least I know on my side, like I'm always willing to like if you want to know how I build my model, if you want to know what programs I use, what music I use, if you have tech issues, I'll help to the best of my ability. If you just want to bounce ideas off me, by all means, like let's talk about it because I feel like that is so important and without it, it could be so much harder. Because I know initially for me, when I was like, when I was growing up as a streamer, when I was a little baby streamer, I didn't have a big group. Like I built a lot of my stuff on my own, which is great, but it's so hard and it can be so discouraging when you're stuck on things that maybe you don't need to be stuck on, or maybe there's just not a like Tubby and I were talking about this earlier, like Vroid for the current version of the application, which is why I made my model, it doesn't have tutorials on the like standard version of the program. So it's really difficult sometimes to figure out like, how do I do this? Or I need to do this, but how do I get there? So it's really great when you have community members that you can talk to, that you can confer with, that you can bounce ideas off of, whether it be, technical or creatively.
Absolutely. Sorry, just banning.
100%.
Be gone, bot.
Yeah, just banning some random bot trying to be like, hey, you want to buy followers? No, we do not.
Oh my gosh, there was a bot last night that oh, also people thank your mods because my mods are amazing. But there's a bot last night that me and my mods were like trying to figure out if they were real or not because they came in after a huge raid and they dropped like a freaking paragraph, and we're like, you can literally see me lean forward and start squinting and like thinking about it, and my mod goes quiet because I game a lot with my mods too because they're amazing. But and we were both reading this paragraph and we're like, oh, that's a bot. It's a freaking bot. So he bans it. But I was like, oh, they're getting crafty now. They're trying to look real. It's like a freaking paragraph. Right. It's not just, you want to be famous? Buy followers here. It was like an in-depth message. I was like, oh my. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and like
oh my gosh.
they're actually starting to like work on their names and stuff. It's getting a lot harder to but you can still definitely tell that they're bots. They all have the same message.
Yeah, but that's something else if you're getting started out as a streamer. I would say if you want to do it on your own and you don't want to game with someone, I always recommend that maybe you start out with like a mod you trust. Even if it's just a friend that you can start out with, who you can trust to like be in your chat for your first couple ones and just help you out, and then like look into setting up auto spam filters and auto bot filters.
They help
because that can be really stressful and overwhelming if you're like a new streamer, if you're getting these random bots, or if you're getting like follow botted, because those are exciting.
Or
Oh yeah,
and
those are horrible.
not trying to bring them back or anything. So knocking on wood here, the hate raids, the bot hate raids that used to go through Twitch a lot, those were fun.
I aggressively knocked on wood.
But yes, anyways, so like going further into the topic of mods and everything. So obviously, like you said, mod teams are a very important tool, even from the very beginning. But what makes like what kind of criteria would you say are good things to have in a mod? Like, what made you choose your mods per se?
Um, so I would say there's a couple of important things with mods. First and foremost, you want like you need to understand that mods are volunteers. They're not people you're paying usually. I mean, I guess you could, but they're
Unless you
usually
make like a lot of
volunteers.
money making it
I broke
Ludwig.
the I'm not a Ludwig. I'm a broke bee. um, but I would say make sure that before you mod someone, make sure it's someone that understands your values and your boundaries as a streamer. And I would recommend that it be someone who's relatively active and engaged with your community, because your mods are like your second, like you're the primary person, but like your mods can, just having a mod engaging with chat or dropping those commands or doing shout outs and stuff for raids and stuff or getting bots, that can help a streamer so much so you can be more engaging, more interactive and less like, because there's been a lot of times where I've been modding for myself because, it's the wee hours of the morning. I went 13 hours and everyone's dead asleep.
Oh,
And it
absolutely.
can be a bit like, it takes a little bit away when you're like, oh, hold on, I gotta get the shout out. Especially for me, like I'm a console gamer. So I use like Stream Elements, OBS, and an Elgato to capture my PS4 content.
Hmm.
And I game on a controller. So if I'm gaming on a controller and I don't have a mod, I'm like, all right, I got controller in one hand and like time to type with the other hand, and it's a little awkward. um, but yeah, I would say make sure they are like, for me, the top three things would be they know your boundaries and they respect them. They know your values and your expectations. I'd say those would go hand in hand. Um, and then they're active, and maybe not active all the time, but active enough. And with that, I'd also say, like, don't be afraid to have candid conversations with people too. Because just because someone is a mod now doesn't mean they're always going to stay a mod or want to be a mod. Because sometimes life becomes too much and they may need to step down, or maybe they just need to go VIP or something because they can't dedicate time anymore. It's something that's I still struggle with because I kind of find myself to be a bit of a, like, I don't like conflict. And I'm not saying it is conflict, but I just would caution, like, don't feel obligated to keep people as mods if it's no longer a good fit. Make sure you're communicating. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Like in my Discord, I have a whole section for the mods with like what's expected in the Discord and what's expected on stream, and hey, just talk to me if you got something going on and you're not going to be around for a while, so we know.
Life happens.
Yeah. Life is
Oh
what
yeah.
happens when you're making plans.
Much to popular belief, contrary to popular belief, streamers also have lives. So sometimes, and so do your mods. So sometimes, like, stuff happens. Like, gosh, do I wish life was, very straightforward. But sometimes life's just like, hey, I'm gonna punch you real hard for the next 2 weeks, right in the gut, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. And I think we keep circling back to this, but I want to, because it's a lesson I didn't know for a long time and I still struggle with. But make sure to take care of yourself and your mods. Like, make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of your community by proxy. If you're not happy and the space you're creating isn't happy, your people are going to feel that. So if you're not feeling well, if you had a rough day at work, if you had a bad mental health day, don't be afraid to take time off. Your community will still be there for you when you come back. As hard and scary as that may seem, they'll still be there for you. And, it's okay to stream when you're not, you don't have to be perfect when you stream either, I'd say. Just be candid with your community, have that rapport. But know
Be
when you
honest.
need a break. Yeah. Like know when you need time for yourself and know when you might need to like lean on your community. Be like, hey guys, today was a rough day. I call it a low spoon day. I'll put it like in my title and stuff, and we have a command for it. But like when you don't have a lot of mental or physical energy, but you still need that engagement.
You can tell them on TikTok because I always call those no bones days.
I have no skeletal structure left. I am mush. I haven't heard that one before. But yeah.
It was this really old pug that this owner would tell if it was a good or a bad day based off of how like if the pug would continue standing or if it would just like slump down.
just just
And so it
potato.
was like, oh, okay, he's still standing. It's a bones day, everybody. And then like if he didn't, it's like, oh, well, it's a no bones day. Take care of yourselves, everyone. It's gonna get rough out there.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so and to iterate further on Karene's thing and everything, like again, be honest with yourself, be honest with your community. Like if you're not like if you even if you make a stream schedule, if you're not feeling it, don't push yourself. That's one of the worst things you can do is push yourself to, put on like a facade and everything and like yeah, or sleep when you're dead. Try not to sleep when you're dead because like you're dead and party. Just make it kind of
Yeah.
quick. Oh, okay, I see where you're going with this clips. I mean, you do you, friend. You're still being honest with yourself. So like your honesty might just be different from everyone else's. But yeah, it is what it is. Every person's different. But yeah, like just try to take care of yourself. If you're like Calypse and you're like, well, sleep is for the weak, that you make that decision and you own it. You beautiful person, you.
It's very different. That's true. I think that's the beauty of streaming and content creation in general.
Is there
Is
such a
it opens
vast
you
yeah.
up to a world that of like experiences and people that you otherwise would never know.
All right. So
Networking really does help.
Tubby, do you have any other questions or am I able to open it up for them to ask questions now?
So what made you decide upon that dress specifically for your um Christmas thing?
Um, so I liked the overall design, but to be honest, I was going for things that I could integrate into VRoid fairly simply and that were free. So fun fact, everything on my model is free. I didn't pay anything to make her. I just did a lot of time and effort in VRoid and I used Booth, which is kind of like an asset place where they have free and paid content. But there's a lot of like free items there that you can just integrate into VRoid. So it kind of like aesthetically, I liked it because I'll have to maybe like show you guys in the Discord or something, like stop by a stream in the future and I'll do like a full display. But it's kind of like a cute little like long coat dress situation, which I just like the aesthetic of with a
Mm-hmm.
high
Oh,
boot. And
kind of don't see the bottom of it, so
yeah. And it was free. And I was able to integrate it and I can actually change the colors too, which I like. I can make
Nice.
it any color I want. So I was playing around with maybe doing a purple one, but I was like, maybe
Oh my gosh,
we
yes.
voted for it in stream and everyone's like, no, let's do traditional colors, but with like a Korean flair. So we kept like the aesthetic of the head and the hair. But we did the traditional colors on the dress.
There you go.
looks good.
And like the ability to be able to change and everything too is always nice and fun. So
Yeah, since I unveiled my model in I did in September for the subathon, and I've had 5 different iterations of her for different holidays. So I have like my standard OG model, and then I had one for Halloween, one for fall, and one for Christmas, and then one that will be for the new year. So you guys will see that when that happens.
it's party time, everybody. All right. Well, that is
Love and
all the
talk.
questions we have. So the floor is now open. So everyone in the chat, if you have any questions you want to ask Karine, go ahead and pop those in the chat. We'll go in order. Feel free. Like, do your best? Question mark. 'Cause I'd say do your worst, but I know you degenerates, and I'm not going to say that. So yeah.
I know better.
Oh, any advice for aspiring VTubers?
Yeah, actually, I would say if VTubing is something you're interested in, definitely try it. Um,
Absolutely not,
my
Calypse. Be funny.
my question would be if you have like, do you have a PC? And if you do have a PC, then I definitely recommend get Vroid on Steam. It's free, and there's a lot of free assets that you can use to make a very base model. And don't be afraid, because this is one hesitation I had, which is like, oh, I don't have a fancy enough model. It's not cool enough. I can't afford a fancy model, basically. But I was like, it's okay to start and to grow. It's okay. I'm at the end of this journey. I might have 50 different models, but that's cool because it's you're kind of watching as you grow. And there's a little bit for me, it's like a little bit of a pride thing because I can say, I made this model. Everything you see, I did.
Nice.
Like I started with the fundamentals in Vroid because they give you the base kit, which takes away a lot of like the stress of like figuring out rigging and things like that because it's all pre-rigged and you don't need any like art skills per se. You just need to manipulate assets within the program. So that's much easier.
Lord knows I don't
The
have
thing
those.
the thing I would say if you don't have a PC but you want to try it is you can look at either like, people will sell models, but also I would say maybe start out as like a PNG tuber, which is literally like a reactive image that will react to your sound, the sound of your voice. It's what I started out with, and it adds a little something extra to the stream without the complexity of a full model or having to have like a camera to move when you move and things like that.
Mhm.
So those would be my biggest recommendations. And if anyone has any specific questions, I'm more than willing to help. I'm sure Tubby would be too. Tubby also has a model and knows the pain and the struggles, but also the success. Um,
And Calypse, you are 100% right. It does limit the customizability of it, but it is a good out of the box starting kit. So like there's always going to be ups and downs.
yeah, yeah, and I would say you can always start with like just because you start with VRoid doesn't mean you have to stay with it. Like if you get to a point where you can afford it and you want to journey into making the product yourself, or buying one from like a professional creator, then do that. But I'd say when you're just getting started out, try VRoid because one, it's free. It'll teach you a lot, and it'll help you learn some like things that you might want. Because sometimes until you have a model, it's hard to know like aesthetically what you may or may not want, or what may or may not make sense or look good when in motion. And so, Calypso, to answer your question, I'd rather have no knees.
Why?
Because as a streamer and an office worker, I need my arms to do what I love. And I sit on
Gotcha.
my ass a lot of the time anyway.
All right, there
I'll
you
just
go.
roll around my house on an office chair. It's fine.
Hey, some office chairs are very comfortable, so that would not be a bad life.
Because I need to have a thicker tushy.
We get this question every single time, and it's always fun to see the streamers' answers to it. But Chris MIA 17, and if I said that name wrong, I'm very sorry. But who's your favorite mod?
Chris, you cheeky little bastard, you. Chris is one of my mods.
I imagine so.
I have no favorites. I love you all equally. And I harass you all equally, as you do me.
That is the true definition of love There you are.
Honestly, I love different elements of all my mods because they all bring something different and unique. And I love so many of them because I have such a unique journey with some of them. So like one of my mods, I met through a D&D campaign before I even started streaming. One of my mods I met through gaming before I became a streamer. And I freaking love her and like I've known her for a long time. Some of my mods I met through streaming and they were just so engaging and like naturally reactive in chat. Like Chris is one of them. Bear, Solo, like they were just so interactive and engaging in chat and vibing and dropping, like doing commands and stuff as viewers. Being like, oh hey, this person's got a question. I got you. Boom. Socials. Boom. Discord. You know, just doing above and beyond for no reason. And I was literally like, yo, you're amazing. You want to be a mod? And it doesn't always work that way, but that's kind of how it happens for them. And I'm so glad it did because like we've come such a long way since then.
Absolutely. And
Cheeky
you
little Chris.
you know they're gonna be good mods if they're taking the initiative first.
100%, yeah.
All right, guys, we do have enough time for probably, I'm gonna say, 2 more questions. So whoever gets them in the quickest gets to have their question answered. If you're not one of those two, better luck never. So yeah.
Also, if it's okay, I can share my screen and show my full model.
Absolutely.
We will do V-Ride. See.
All right, and there you are, everybody. The
Can
full
you
model.
see?
That's a nice dress.
It's me. Wee.
Nice.
All right, I see that hand, Duke, but I don't see a question to accompany it.
But yeah, I like the aesthetic and like I'm a
hello,
big
Duke.
stickler for high boots. So this was like a really good fit.
There is nothing wrong with high boots. I may have a weakness to them, but it's all right.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of like this is kind of like a dress coat situation, but I love like trench coats and such. Like I love the aesthetic of like a cinched waist with a long like trench coat aesthetic. Oops, I just got here. Well, welcome in, Duke.
Welcome in,
Question.
Duke. Do you have any questions? We need 2 more, so you can ask one of those 2 more. If you have 2, go for it, because yeah.
Also, if anyone, I'm gonna throw this out there. You tell me if I shouldn't, but if anyone has questions about VTubing or just anything more, feel free to hit me up in the Discord. Like if you guys have more in-depth questions or like maybe you're not comfortable asking on stream, feel free to reach out.
Favorite dog breed?
Favorite dog breed. Actually, Alaskan Klekai. So Alaskan Klekais are a type of, it's basically like a miniature husky breed. They're a little bit shorter hair. But they have the same markings and they're smaller in size. My favorite dog breed is actually a husky, but I usually live in really hot places, which are not good environments for them. So ideally, if I could get a dog, I'd want a little Alaskan Klekai because they're smaller, their hair shorter.
It's what I've been wondering.
Yeah. Look how cute. This is my dream puppy. The dream puppy.
Please do not bring huskies to hot climates.
Yes, exactly. Huskies are extremely they're extremely thick-haired breeds, and it's actually super unhealthy for them to be in hot climates. So that's why I will not get one as much as I want one because I've lived in states that are too warm for them.
Fair.
Just I want them. My second favorite dog breed would be a Rottweiler, though.
Rottweiler. Wording is hard.
Rottweilers
are very fun dogs.
Rots and pit bulls. I love rots and pit bulls.
Pit bulls get too much
they
hate.
are.
They're honestly
they do.
such cuddle monsters, and it's adorable.
They're giant derps, 100%. they're very much the definition of nurture versus nature, and like don't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely. Do we have one more question? Just
What will the
one.
final question be? I feel like we need the Jeopardy music.
I've
Dun,
thought
dun,
about it,
dun,
honestly.
dun, dun, dun. Oh my god, it'd be so glorious. Totally do it.
Honestly, just me like just doing it in different voices and just put that so like, Twitch can't like copy claim us or something.
True.
All right,
What's my
Chris.
favorite thing about my community? That's a good question. Um, I have a couple of things I would say are like my favorite thing. First and foremost, I think is it's my safe space. It's a place I've built surrounded like filled with people that I I recently moved states last year, and I literally don't have any IRL friends anymore because I moved a state away. So like my community is my friends, it's my social interaction, it's my safe space. Um, it's like I have some of the most genuine connections with the people there. And more than that, I'd say something else that's really amazing or special about it is it's like something I don't take pride in a lot of things. I don't have confidence we talked about earlier, but it's a place I built. Like I built that from the ground up. And that's insane. And I think the fact that it's something I built and now it's such a safe and like warm, like happy place for me is
Mhm.
amazing.
Nice.
It's
Well,
very wholesome.
very wholesome. But I mean, for anyone who hasn't been in a Karine stream, she is a very wholesome person. Yes, there might be some words that get shot out. We
I
we were
have a
talking
sailor's
about
mouth.
this before the stream and everything, but yeah, like Karine at base is a very wholesome person, and the streams are always wonderful to watch. She's a great streamer. Check her out.
Don't lie to them.
100%.
I'm a degenerate.
But degenerates are some of the most wholesome people when it comes to like what matters.
Oh no.
We're also just, a little bit more open and honest about other things than, some people might be. But it's all good.
Touche. Fair enough.
But yeah, thank you so much for being here with Karine and everything. Is there anything you would like to say before we let you go and everything?
Um,
Any kind of shout out or anything?
couple of things. So I know I keep bringing this up, but I want to bring it up because it's a lesson I'm still struggling with. But please make sure if you're streaming that you're doing what you like, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're taking breaks, and that you're setting and keeping your boundaries. Don't feel pressured to ever give on any of that. Would be like my big like please take this away kind of message. And then outside of that, if I can like do a little self shout out, little
Oh,
kind of thing.
absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
for this whole month, we're doing what I call because for thanks or not Thanksgiving, for Halloween and for Christmas, I always do Flocktober and Flockmas, which is basically just the month of those holidays. So the month of December, we're doing Flockmas, and it's going to be filled with um, a lot of holiday related activities. So we have holiday wish lists. We're doing a Secret Santa in my Discord. We're going to be doing Thankmas charity stream on the 10th
Yeah.
of this month. So just a bunch of things like that. And all of those things will have, different ways that you can contribute. And if you contribute, there's different rewards and things. So like you can have your name on an ornament or on a wreath or in a holiday book. If you support the charity or myself or anything during the month of December. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I'll be live later tonight around I might go try to nap again. Because I was streaming till like 7 a.m. and then I took a little nap and then I woke up from my interview and then I might go take a nap.
Fair.
um,
Again, like you were saying earlier, take care of yourself.
power naps. I never used to nap. I start to nap now. It's a thing.
Not
And by nap I mean sleep in 2-hour intervals. It's fantastic.
whatever's
But
healthy.
yeah, it'll be, it's something. But it'll be around 9:30 p.m. PST. A few
There
hours
you
from
are.
now. But yeah, I'm so excited you had me. This is kind of a glorified mess, but that's kind of me in a nutshell. This is chaos.
That's kind of this entire interview stream in a nutshell. So you fit in
Embrace
just
the
fine.
chaos.
That's perfect. Literally in my raid, like if someone raids me, my intro is like, welcome to my stream. I'm a variety streamer where chaos reigns, and I don't know what a schedule is.
What is
Because
a
I can't
schedule?
keep my schedules.
What is a
And
schedule?
we're like, we'll do a short stream. Cuts it 14 hours later. My chat's like giving me the side eye. I'm like, look, listen, I don't know what happened either. I don't know what happened.
Fair.
I'll get off. 3 hours later. No, I swear, just one more match. Gamer mentality, right? Am I right?
Always. Hey, we can't end on a loss. We got to play one more. Oh, well, we lost that one too. Well, we can't end on a loss. We got to go again.
Oh, that one was shitty. They DC'd. Oh no, this one was that didn't count. That didn't count. Our first stream together was 24 hours long. Oh no. Oh God. You're not wrong, Chris. You're not wrong.
Just got Chris calling you out in chat.
Yo, yeah, Chris. Look, betrayal. See, this is what your mods are really here for. The betrayal. Oh, the slander. No.
Awesome.
24 hours. Yep. Yo, the coat
24
rack
hours.
of comfort, Chris. The coat rack of comfort.
So
You had
yeah,
to be there to know.
Coat Rack of Comfort. If you want to find out what that's about, go to Karine's streams. They're fun. I've never not been entertained. I'll just say that. But yeah, thank you so much, Karine. Go get some sleep. Go rest up for your stream. Like, yeah, PG specifically says, "Ma'am, go rest."
Thank you, positivity.
All right, thank you so much.
Speaking of positivity.
Speaking of
Segue.
positivity, yep, 100%. We're all about
Transition. Smooth.
Positivity. That's your sign to get into game chat 4 with us. BT Dubs.
That was a very subtle hint to get your butt
BT
in here.
BT
There you
Dubs.
are.
There he is.
Hello.
Hi, bud.
I was like, do I just jump in?
Absolutely. Why not?
We set up such a beautiful, smooth segue.
And for our second interview of the night,
I don't know what to face.
which way would you like to face?
I
You're
don't know.
you're the guest here. However you want to face, like it's up to you. Yes, the wholesome
Guys,
man
I'm not,
himself.
Not even staring at the camera. I'll face chat mostly. There we go.
I can
There
look
we
at
go.
you uncomfortably.
We all look at each other uncomfortably. It's all good.
Wait, okay. I have the same issue. How do I subtly exit the chat?
Easy. You just go.
Bye. Click.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, perfect example.
Like that.
Well, thank you guys.
Just to show.
I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thank
now
you
my
guys so
camera's
much
not
for
moving.
having me. Oh
Absolutely.
no. See, yeah, you
Thank you
messed
for
with
coming.
it. You've upset the camera gods.
There we
Oh,
go.
no.
There we
I
go.
broke everything.
We got it.
That was me last
Oh,
night on
there we go.
stream. Everything was busted. Yeah. Well, thank you
That's
guys.
the way
I
it
hope
works.
the interview goes well. Yeah, it's not a stream unless there's tech issues. Let's be honest.
100%. 100%.
Are you truly a streamer if everything isn't super scuffed?
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's part of the initiation, and then it never stops. It's a constant haze. It's a constant haze.
Oh my gosh, yes. 100%.
And on that note, bye.
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 All right. So,
Hello.
obviously, welcome in PG. also known as Positivity
Bonkers.
Gamer. Before we get straight into your interview and everything, just a couple of announcements for everyone in the chat. So to go into a bit more details, so obviously we do have the raffle going on and everything. That is for some sort of prize. I don't remember what it is. They've told me multiple times, but I'm horrible at remembering things. So you get to
Mood.
deal with that. However, if you redeem it, you get put on a list that the FBI is not aware of, so don't worry about that. But um don't worry, PG. We already know about you.
Fair.
But yeah, and then at the end of the stream, we will do a drawing, and the person who wins, I think the last time we gave away like, what was it, 1,500 biddies or something like that. So yeah, money, woo, we're all about that. There might be other prizes. I'm not sure. Again, they've told me all the prizes we can give. I don't remember. I'm horrible at remembering things. It's great. And then one big shout out to Yjon, who is our newest Shadow Legend. So 100% congratulations on that. And if anyone else redeems it, let me know, because I think right now we have like 3 people, and I would love to have more names to put in there. So yeah. It's only 500 bits, or not bits. It's only 500 points. So like, what are you doing? Come on.
I'll be back.
Yeah, no
All right,
problems.
I'm gonna ditch real quick.
Jeez. Okay, everyone's just redeeming now
Oh,
that
look
I've
at that
said
chair.
something. I know,
It's
right?
a nice chair.
It is a nice chair. It's literally the blue version of my chair.
Sorry, Hoover is
Exactly.
being weird.
What's being weird?
Hoover, my cat is being weird. He's at the bottom of the stairs doing like this really weird meow, and I'm wondering if that side door is open and one of Grandma's cats downstairs is down there doing something.
Oh boy. Do you
But
need a
I've never
second to
heard him
go
make the
like?
noise that he's making right now.
Do you
But
need to
he
go
also
check?
has, well, it's like he also has like urinary issues, so I'm like, are you okay?
Cats are weird. I can attest to this. My cat is weird.
My cat screams at me every time I come home because I left him.
My cat screams at me for random reasons and will go from being happy that I'm petting her to all of a sudden my hand is in a claw trap while she's biting me. It's great.
Yep.
I
And now
just
he's screaming.
I just pick her up and cuddle her. That's my punishment to her, and she's starting to get used to it, but it is what it is. Your cat eats plastic grass. Same. My cat destroys garter on trees. It's great.
we have a like just a tiny little Christmas tree sitting on the table. First
Mhm.
thing he did was try to bite it.
Same. My roommate and I have what we call the holiday tree because we're too lazy to put it away.
It just
So
constantly exists.
it just constantly exists, and we just decorate it for whatever season is coming up. So today it finally got
Fair.
switched over to Christmas. We're not lazy. We're smart. We've got a high PG from Jinsig Hollow in the chat for
Okay.
you. But anyways, for anyone who is wondering, this is Positivity Gamer. He is another
Hello.
member of the Shadow Stream supporters. And I believe this week you're one of our featured members, correct?
Yes.
So very active, very friendly, and everything. And so we're gonna go straight into the interview. We're just gonna learn some things about PG. So PG, we're gonna start out real nice and simple. We're gonna throw you a low curveball here. Who is Positivity Gamer, and what do you like streaming? What's your niche? If
There
there
is no
is
such
one.
thing as a niche. Not with me. But yes, hello, I am Positivity Gamer. I am well, I guess this would be my niche at this point, as I am a family-friendly variety gaming streamer. Occasionally doing other things depending on what situations happen. Like for November, we did charity streams all month, and one of the goals was a music stream, which we did
You also shaved your
Thursday.
head.
Yes, and I also had to shave my head. Hi, Hoover. Are you okay? I don't know if my mic is picking him up.
No, we can't hear. At least I can't hear him.
I mean, the little gremlin himself. But yeah, I'm a family-friendly variety gaming streamer. Lately, it seems all I streamed is Pokemon ROM hacks, but
Hey, we made some great fusions on that last one, though.
oh yeah, that door is definitely open and there's a cat down there because I just heard it. So Hoover is antagonized because there's another cat. That's what's going on. Okay, crisis averted. I'm worried because this cat. This is also where I'm like very nervous with him. So there was a point at like the beginning of summer.
Hmm.
Actually, no, like beginning of the year almost. Back in my old apartment before we moved, I'm going to bed. I'm just like laying in my bed, eyes closed. In my old apartment, I had to leave my door cracked every night because the only space Hoover really liked was my room. Because my old apartment literally just had like you walk in and there's just this little kitchenette into like an opener, a more open space, which we used as like a dining room. And then it was literally just bathroom, closet, roommate's room, my room. So it was very small apartment. So when we
Absolutely.
first got him, he chose my room to be his comfort room and he hid under my bed for a day. Um and didn't really want to leave my room until one day I just decided you're getting used to the rest of the apartment. So I kicked him out of my room and shut my door for a day and I was like, go get used to everything else.
Absolutely.
Especially because
Yeah.
your litter box and your food are out there. But that means he would still want to come into my room all the time, so I couldn't lock him out at night, otherwise he'd scream, and I am a light sleeper,
So it would
so
wake you
just
up.
any noise wakes me up. So it's I would just hear him and I'd be like, "Okay, fine," because he liked to lay on my chair. Well, I'm laying down to go to bed, and um, from across the room, I hear him. Keep in mind, this is like 2 in the morning because I'm a massive night owl, and my work day doesn't start until like 11 or noon, depending on the season. At that point, I want to say it was still 11.
Okay.
So like, I go to bed late because I don't have to be up until like 10 o'clock.
Fair.
Um, but I hear him getting in. I had this little carpet box that I kept all my games in, and I had a keyboard in there. And I heard him like clicking the keyboard, and I'm like, "What are you doing over there?" And I look, and he's squatting in that bin, and I'm like, "No, get out of there!" So I get up real quick, run over, and like try to shoo him, and he's not moving. So I picked him up, and he just started yowling, and it hissed at me. Which the only other time I've ever heard Hoover hiss is when we were dog sitting for my roommate because he hissed at the dog because there's this weird animal in his space and he has no idea what it is. He hissed at the dog and ran and hid under the sink. Um, but like I'm freaking out at this point because I'm like, holy crap, what is wrong? Are you okay? And he like dashes out into the main room and is giving this just like awful crying noise as he's like pacing around under the table. And I'm like hyperventilating, freaking out at this point. Because I'm like, what is wrong with my cat? Is he dying?
Hmm.
Um, Wound up taking him to the vet the next day after being up. I was up like all night to the point of yes, hi Hoover. I do know. I
He
am
wants. He
yes,
wants
I'm
to be
talking about
included.
you, you little gremlin. Um,
And it's at this moment he
but like
knew he effed up.
I'm up all night. Like I frantically knocked on my roommate's door, and to I woke him up and explained it to him, and he's like, he's probably just got like a small blockage. He'll be fine. Just we'll figure it out tomorrow. Call the vet in the morning, and like talking me down. I wound up like sobbing, wrapped up in my comforter, just like leaning against my closed door, staring at Hoover as he's just laying underneath the table in there. And I was a mess. As soon as the store opened, I called and I was like, "Hey, this happened last night. I am not going to be able to come in today. I got no sleep." I wound up sleeping for like I think an hour and a half that day because I finally fell asleep around like 7 o'clock and woke up again at like 9. Took him to the vet and they're like, he's probably just dehydrated and can't get anything out. So they gave him like a pill. They like injected water into his neck, which is the thing they can do for hydration for pets apparently, and it gave him like this little lump, which was kind of funny.
Interesting.
But like it would absorb the water to hydrate him, and he was fine for a little bit. And then fast forward like 2 more months, and I wake up to go to work at like the beginning of summer, and I look down, and there's just this little puddle, like just tiny little puddle that was twinged red, and I'm just like, oh frick, oh crap, oh no, and I'm like, Hoover is peeing blood. What is happening? So I rushed him to Kalamazoo because that was the closest emergency vet. Come to find out, he gets. Apparently, this is a really common problem for male cats. Found this out recently, but he gets crystals in his urethra. So he's on special food now. But that's why, to explain this long story, that's why when I heard him making weird noises, I'm freaking out because at this point, I'm not giving him back to a shelter. It's going to cost like $1,400 to actually get it fixed that I cannot afford.
Mhm.
So if it does wind up happening again, I'm gonna have to take him to the vet and put him down. And I've already determined this because I'm like, I'm not giving him to my parents and making them deal with all of this. He's just
Absolutely.
not gonna have a good quality of life. I'm not forcing him to go back to a shelter because they're not gonna deal with it correctly, probably. Well, I trust my shelter too. We actually have a pretty good shelter. But at the same time, I'm like, he's lived with us for since 2020 at this point.
Hmm.
So I'm like, no, I'm not giving this cat up.
Yeah, it's your cat.
But it's like there at that point it'll be like I'm not going to be able to care for this cat, so just
That's
as,
fair.
as wrong as this is going to sound coming out, the idea is there, but like he's got to go to an extent. Like
Oh
at
yeah,
that point it's like this is going to have to be his time. But
100%.
it's
Yeah.
okay. It's just a cat. Slightly I'll probably be still slightly panicky because that's who I am as a person. Thanks anxiety. For the rest of it. But anyway, actual interview time.
No, we live for the stories, so 100%. Like,
I'm just going to drink my giant bottle of chocolate milk here.
hey, yeah, that's some great chocolate milk. Can confess, Fairlife is wonderful.
It's lactose free.
Yes,
It's the only reason I have it because
and
I am
yep,
lactose intolerant.
yep. Bariatric surgery did that to me.
Wasn't it
Wasn't
the
it the
actual
actual
interview?
interview? Yes, yes,
Yes.
Clips, it was.
The whole interview was talking about Hoover. It's fine. He's sitting at the top of the stairs. I see his tail just twitching.
He just wants you to know he's there. But yeah, so obviously now moving away from your cat Hoover and everything. So what brought you to streaming, PG? What was like the defining moment where you're just like, sure, let's try this?
Honestly, it's mostly because I just kind of realized I could.
Hey, that's a
I
fair
was
and
like, wait a
honest
second.
answer.
I have a laptop now that can actually do stuff. I wonder if I could just start streaming. Because, like, this was shut down. I was bored. And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll give it a try. And now here I am, like, 2 years later.
And still loving it.
Yeah. August 30th, 31st. One of those. August 30th, 2020 was when I first started streaming directly from my PlayStation, and I was streaming Marvel's Avengers.
Nice.
First thing I ever streamed.
Honestly, I'm surprised you remember the first thing you ever streamed. I do not.
And
it
then
was it
I
was a
found
long
this
time
place
ago
like
though.
4 days later through Reddit.
Oh, really? You found Shadow Stream through Reddit?
I found it back when it was still the Ninja Monkey streamer support or the Ninja Monkey whatever it was way back then.
Yeah. I'm still sad I didn't because obviously monkey. But, now I'm the only monkey in the thing. So I guess that is a bonus because monkeys don't like sharing.
Well, that was me knocking over my water bottle. It's fine.
It's fine. As long as it didn't spill anything.
There's nothing in it.
Well, there you go. See, there's nothing to lose. Let's go. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of like how to like what I want to ask you in what order. We're just gonna go for it. Any tips for new streamers? I know you said like August 30th, 31st, whichever one of those two was like your first one, but like for people starting out and stuff, would you have any like advice or anything to give them?
Just go for it. Be yourself. It's I want to say honestly the worst some of the worst advice I was actually given by like everybody was you have to constantly talk. Don't feel like you have to constantly talk in a stream because that gave me so much stress
Be yourself
that
unless you're boring.
no, don't be fake. Okay,
Fake
here's the
lips.
way I actually look at it. Fake streaming kind of worked like early 2010s. Like you go back and watch like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and PewDiePie and all of like the big streamers of the time, they all kind of had a persona for streams and for videos and stuff, and that's kind of what people came to. But as like time has gone on, people have realized like that's really stressful and really fake. And people just it's not a good look and it's not a good way to live. And
Mm,
it like as kind of a from a streaming standpoint, it's hard to keep up and it's just be yourself on stream. Don't feel like you have to like keep
that's fair comments.
constantly going.
Absolutely. A great example of what you're talking about with like the like kind of becoming more real and stuff was like obviously Markiplier has become a lot more real and stuff, but there's still like some
Like,
tinges of his old personality that he
I
had
mean,
specifically
that's
in there.
just
But that's
Markiplier is just a chaotic little gremlin.
yeah,
There's no
exactly.
getting around that. The
But
man is chaos embodied.
yes, and I love it. I love it wholeheartedly. But the greatest example I can think of, going back to like you were saying the 2010, and even a little bit further because obviously Smosh,
Oh
Anthony
God, Smosh.
Padilla, Anthony
Anthony
Padilla,
Padilla.
like you look at like 2005 through 2000 and like what 12,
Yep.
15, Anthony Padilla, and then you look at him now, and it's like, who the heck are you?
I
Like,
mean, now basically isn't all he does is just like interview other like YouTubers
oh yeah,
and personalities. Like that's all he does anymore.
other YouTuber personalities. Like he'll interview like people in certain job aspects and everything,
Yeah.
and like genuinely get to try and know, like understand their profession. Like I think he had one on furries. He had one on like people who are strippers who work in maid cafes. He interviewed like Markiplier, Dream, and a bunch of other like big name YouTubers, and he just like
Yeah. I
what
watched
what
his
is a
one
day in the
with
life?
Jaden Animations. That one was a
Yes.
good one.
Oh, absolutely. 100% recommend it. But yeah, no, it's definitely I can agree, like be yourself. And kind of going back to what Karine was harping on a little bit in her is like take care of yourself, be true to yourself. They go hand in hand. If you
100%.
if you do both, you're not just going to more organically grow your following because you will find people who absolutely love your brand of thing. I mean, look at PG, he did. Um
It's
I'm kidding.
I
You're
don't
a
even know
great
what
streamer.
my
I love
brand
you.
is anymore at this point. I'm like, I'm family friendly, I'm wholesome, but I'm also like kind of chaotic.
Yeah, if you can't be
If we're being
yourself, then be
honest, I'm really
positivity.
chaotic most of the time.
You literally have Elmo standing in front of a fire holding his hands up as like what, but it's you as one of your things. Like
If anybody is wondering what that is, this is my positivity
yeah.
chaos. And
Yeah. 100%.
EV and HV there, that's I guess
Family
he's
friendly unless I'm with
connected.
him, then he has to take the tag away. Ooh.
And Jensig is one of my mods.
But yeah, no, like 100%. Like just be true to yourself, be wholeheartedly honest with your audience. Will everyone stay? No.
No.
Because you can't please everyone. It's not
That's
gonna happen. Just
I
don't
will
try it.
admit, I had a moment, and I think Jen can attest to this because I actually posted this in our mod chat. I had just a random moment, like maybe a month ago now, that
Mhm.
I went into the mod chat and I was like, guys, we actually kind of have a community now. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was a weird feeling and a weird realization that like we actually have people now that come kind of regularly. Yeah, it's 2 years later, but also a lot has kind of happened with me in the last 2 years.
Yeah, but I mean that like going back to the growing it organically, it'll take time, but it'll also make it stronger. If you try and
Yeah,
grow it inorganically, if you try and like be someone you're not, if you try to like please everyone, you're going to lose followers because everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well, like when I came in you were like this and now you're like this and I don't like." It's like,
yeah.
and you lose
Like,
track of
well,
who you are,
it's
and
yeah.
it's not a fun time.
It's I will also say this, going back to the what advice do you have for new streamers? This is something that I still feel really bad when I do this. I actually did this recently. So one of the series I
True.
started doing um is I do a throwback Thursday series now, to where every Thursday I'm going to be playing a game that I really enjoyed as a kid. And I started with Gale of Darkness, but the whatever whatever was going on with the emulator had, I think I actually fixed it. But it's like the resolution would constantly change
Hmm.
throughout it, and it was just really frustrating me. To the point of I'm like, I don't even want to play this anymore. And halfway through the stream, I was just like, you know what? This is just getting frustrating. Let's swap to a different game real quick because I know I'm getting annoyed. And obviously, Positivity Gamer, I don't want to be annoyed and angry on stream. That's not my brand. That is definitely not what I'm going for. Um,
Yeah.
so we swapped to Oracle of Seasons, and I've continued that. And I did announce recently, like, I'm just not going to continue the Gale of Darkness series because, like, I didn't get reinvested into it as much as I thought I did. So, as
Hmm.
advice for new streamers, don't feel like you have to continue something through. If you are not feeling it, it is definitely going to come through on stream, and don't feel like you have to keep going with it. It is always okay to end a series because you're not performing well as a streamer with it, or you don't feel like you're performing well as a streamer. Because if you're not enjoying it,
Absolutely.
eventually it will come through and no one will enjoy
Looking at you, Resident Evil Zero. I hated that game. Like,
it. That's also why I will not play like rage specific games or like PvP type stuff, because it frustrates me so much and I hate it.
just
Like
makes
even
me.
Fall Guys, which is meant to be
Mhm.
like more of memey, and I'm just kind of like, no, this still just makes me mad.
Okay, okay. See, but the Souls series,
No,
as someone
no,
who has been
no,
a
no,
Souls
no,
series streamer, you can make it very wholesome because, like, at least for me, that was one of the first things I streamed.
nope.
But yeah, like I was one of those people. I had two or three different things I would do. Like I would raid people as like one of the red spirits. And if they were cool, I'm like, okay, cool. If you have a seed, pop it, I'll help you kill things. If you don't, okay, cool. I have a black crystal, I'll leave. If they were
Sweaty.
either if they wanted to fight or they were just being, crapshoots of a person,
Sweaty.
I'd kill them. Or one of my favorite things to do was if they were being crapshoots of a human being, I'd run, I'd hide, and I would turn myself into like I would use the skill to hide myself as like the environment, and they can't progress until they kill you. So they're just stuck, and you get to watch as they run around hitting everything trying to find you, and you just get to sit there and laugh at their misery, and it's great. Hi, I'm Recon Monkey. I'm very family friendly. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's for me when it comes to Souls games, and Jinzen can back me up. So Jin is one of my mods, but he also used to live in the same town that I did. So he's
Mhm.
one of my IRL friends that I've known for quite a few years at this point. Um,
Oh, absolutely, it does.
I played the original Dark Souls, and I quit at the Tauros demon. literally the second boss of the game. I'm
Yep.
just like, nope, nope, this is not the game for me. I do not want to deal with this. This is legitimately making me mad, and I don't feel like chucking a controller. But then Jin starts going on and on to me about Elden Ring until finally I was like, you know what? I'll buy Elden Ring. I'll give it a try. Whatever.
How far?
I platinumed Elden Ring. I have the platinum trophy for Elden Ring on my PlayStation.
Nice, buddy.
And now at some point, I
Oh,
don't know
absolutely,
if my
Calypso. Not
laptop
all
can do it.
players are Souls players.
No, definitely not. I I like my cozy games. I like Stardew, I like Coral Island, I like Pokemon. I like just being able to run around and chuck a Pokeball and catch things. That's
Absolutely.
also why within like less than a week I finished the Pokedex at Scarlet and Violet.
Oh my god.
And now I'm just running around like vaguely trying to shiny hunt and just getting annoyed at it because my shiny luck is terrible.
But I mean, like, it's a great way, and especially like if you can like what is it? If you can get like your stream interested and stuff, because like one of the people I
Oh
watch on
yeah.
TikTok and stuff, like he does that, and he has like a redeem his chat will use where it's like, hey, use like give me a suggestion of what kind of type of Pokemon and stuff to use, and it's like use something blue and shiny, and so he'll be like, oh, okay, I have this, and he'll
Yeah.
run around with that as his partner, and it's like, are you shiny? No. How about you?
Oh,
No.
there's one I saw on TikTok that I see a lot. Is she just runs around, and the best way I have to describe it is almost gremlin mode, playing
Mhm.
Pokemon, and she's like, "You get in the ball," and as it's shaking, she's going shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Hoover.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And
But like,
yes, I do know exactly which mod you're talking about with the turning
yeah,
them into
but
Pokemon.
that's also like for the people that get into it. That's why. So for anyone interested in a really really weird Pokemon ROM game or fan game, look up Pokemon Infinite Fusions. It is
Oh, it's
amazing. It is
hilarious.
chaotic. It is horrifying. But everybody in my community has been getting really into it because we're just like, okay, what kind of monstrosity is this going to turn into? What if we fuse
Yeah,
this with this?
I've been loving watching your Pokemon Fusion one. Like it gave us Pikachu.
B2 is
Beach
the golden
Pichu is the
child.
golden child. Yes, 100%.
But like it also gave us the Weeping Bell Graveler one, which
Oh my
looks
yeah.
weirdly cool.
Weirdly cool, also
And
slightly
it's
disturbing,
like Pichu is the golden child, but that Weeping Bell one is like definitely the MVP of the team.
Mhm.
But like chaotic things like that, I love. Another thing I want to do is I want to get
And somehow
Pokemon
anything
Scarlet at
with
some
Diglett
point.
works.
Oh my gosh, Diglets. We don't talk about the Diglets. But what I want to do at some point is I want to buy Pokemon Scarlet because I got my capture card working again, which was a whole thing that I'm not gonna get into because I've already rabbit trailed down so many stories. But I want to get Scarlet, and based on a meme image that's shared between me and Scott, one of the guys in my community, of called the Chomp Squad, and it's literally just an image of this dude sticking out his leg, and it has like Sandile, Totodile,
Yes,
Fuecoco, and Gibble just bit down on it. And I want to play through Scarlet with,
with that
and
as
my
your
team
team.
is going to be the Chomp Squad, and it's going to be sadly Totodile's not in the game, which upsets me. But it's going to be Fuecoco, Choodle, um, Gibble. Shoot, who all did we say? Fuecoco, Choodle, Gibble. Wow, I'm drawing a
I can see the gears turning.
blank. You can almost see the puff of. But yeah, Sandile, duh, because that one was in there. Did I post it in a chat? Because I want to say I actually posted this, but I also think I just like listed it off because it was me and a couple friends were like playing online
Mhm.
in the Discord.
Oh, absolutely. That's how a lot of stuff just happens.
Yeah, and we were
Thank
talking about it. I
God.
was like, guys, I should go through and just make the Chop Squad. Okay, yeah, no, most of this chat, all I'm saying is me ranting about how people don't know how to raid correctly in Pokemon Go because it makes they're in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it makes me so mad. The amount of times I failed a raid because they send out the legendaries. Legendary does not mean powerful. Please
No,
stop sending out
hundred
Kyridon and
percent.
Miraidon. We will lose. Also, pay attention to the overall typing, please. We went up against the Smoliv Final Evolution in one, and it was a. The typing was something that water was weak to. I
Mhm.
want to say it was either ground or rock, but it was like a 5 or 6 star raid, and we went in, and its typing was rock. So like Azumarill, pretty good choice. It's a broken Pokemon in raids.
Yes.
However, the actual Pokemon knows basically nothing but grass moves and kept one-shotting the Azumarill, and we lost because of it. Because for those that haven't paid attention in the raids, if a Pokemon faints, you lose a chunk of time.
Yep.
And we wound up losing, and I was getting so mad.
And then just double checking because I think I might have. This was in Pokemon Go, correct?
No, this is in Pokemon Scarlet Violet with the Terra raids.
Okay. Because, yeah, Pokemon Go does the exact same thing where it's like, hey, you're going to face this Pokemon. And it's a flying
Yep,
normal monster. And it's like, cool. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to send in this. Hey, but it does nothing but what that thing is weak to.
yep. But that's also why it's really tricky for Scarlet Violet, because you have to account for the Terra type, like what's actually going to be super effective to the Terra type, because that's what type this Pokemon is going to wind up being. However, you also have to account for what moves is this Pokemon going to actually know
Use.
and use and work your team around that. And it's just people haven't really fully caught on. Plus, the raids are still kind of glitchy because yes, Scarlet Violet is
Oh,
kind
I've
of a
I've been
buggy mess.
enjoying like the videos covering all the buggy mess that is Scarlet and Violet. It
Well, it's
honestly
this is what
makes me want to buy it
amazes me about
more.
it though is so here's actually a fun fact. Getting back to like the actual interview, who am I as the streamer? I didn't become Positivity Gamer until my 1 year anniversary stream last year.
Mhm.
Before that, I was Silverstorm Gaming because my gamer tag used to always just be Silverstorm. That's was my ID on everything. And that all came about, funnily enough, because of a song from Anastasia.
Nice. One of my
Um,
favorite movies.
yeah, but it's from the line "Once Upon a December" where it's like horses prance through a silver storm, and I just always like that one line, and I'm like, I'm gonna use that as my ID for Silverstorm because I love this movie and I love this song.
It's a great
But
movie. All right, we
the
don't need to interview anymore. We're just going to talk about how good Anastasia is.
I agree. Also, why was I allowed to watch this as a child? Because it's really dark and really gruesome.
Yes. Oh
To
my
be
gosh.
honest.
Like so it does it in a very light and friendly way. Not to off track super hard, but we're gonna off track super hard right now. So buckle in, everybody. But like the movie of Anastasia, yes, it has some like very light-hearted themes and everything. But like when it gets dark, it gets dark.
Also, the music S tier.
S plus tier, honestly. Like gosh, there's not a bad song on the entire track.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Um,
ugh,
but yeah,
but
anyway,
yes.
getting back on track. And here's also a little funny backstory to where Positivity Gamer came from.
Hmm.
Because I will admit, the reason I'm Positivity Gamer is actually super petty.
Oh, please. I live for pettiness.
So around the time for that August, I was working at a coffee shop at the time.
Hmm.
And that's also when the Star Wars pack for The Sims 4 was coming out. And
Really?
I was actually super excited for this.
Hmm.
I still love that pack. It was actually really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But everything I read from the Sims community was just like so negative and just like so Debbie Downer. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? So many of the fandoms I'm in are just like super negative. Pokemon. super negative about absolutely everything. I'm like, you know
Star
what?
Wars.
Screw that. I want to be positive about this, so I'm going to be positivity gamer now.
Not that my,
So the reason I'm
thing
positivity
is,
gamer is actually super petty.
but yeah, gotta be.
But yeah, that's also like, because the whole springboard reason about this is that's why I'm so shocked about how well Scarlet Violet has actually been received. You don't hear, in all honesty,
You
you
don't hear
don't
as
hear
much
a
hate
lot
as
of massive negative because it's even all the TikToks I've seen have been um, like,
it's toxic
so how
positivity.
are you
Absolutely.
enjoying Scarlet Violet? And it was like, oh, it's so buggy, it's so glitchy. Like you can fall through the map every time you turn the camera. You can see through the map, and like this feature doesn't work well. This feature doesn't work well. Oh, so you don't like the game? What are you talking about? This is the best Pokemon game I've ever played. And it's like it's hilarious to me that that is kind of the general consensus of the community right now, is that it is a horrible, buggy mess, but it's the best Pokemon game we've ever played.
Absolutely. Oh, don't remind me of Anthem. I'm still so upset that that game died as hard as it did.
Also, Clodsire is my new golden child. Like, he is definitely my favorite Gen 9 Pokemon, and I don't know why. He's so dumb and round, and I love him so much.
I want the graveyard dog.
Greavard, yes. Greavard! Greavard was also on the Chomp Squad.
But yeah, no, oh geez, yeah, the new Quagsire, like the amount of just
I
love
I
that
love him
Pokemon has
so much.
received. Like
I love him so much.
as
Also,
soon yeah,
Fuecoco. Like, let's be honest here. Fuecoco
Coco.
was definitely the dark horse in this race.
Yeah,
Everything I saw from the overarching community was everybody wanted
Sprigatito.
Sprigatito, and with Quaxley as the second. And Fuecoco was just kind of shunned off to the side. I'm like, why? He's so derpy looking, and he's just this dumb little apple gator.
Yeah,
Fun fact, Fuecoco, I wanted Fuecoco from the minute it was announced, which is
yes,
really weird
Glyphs.
because I was water starter until Gen 6, and then 6, 7, 8, I picked grass. I have never started with the fire starter
Mhm.
until Scarlet Violet. But as soon as the game came out, everybody was just like, yes, Fuecoco, you look so dumb. There's not a thought behind your eyes, and you look like you ate paste, which is why I named him Crayon.
I love that name. But yeah, like I will 100% admit I was on the Sprigatito bandwagon for a long time, but like just watching all of the stuff with Fuecoco and just like, look at him. Look at how there's not a single thought behind those eyes. And I'm just like,
Yes.
same, buddy.
As
You're
soon as I saw him in game, I was just like, yes, I have made the correct choice. It's also great because when they introduced the starters, like Sprigatito has, when they do their cries, Sprigatito, Hoover, why are you chomping me? You were Hoover wants to be a part of the Chomp Squad.
Fuecoco's
Um,
favorite flavor of crown is the box.
but like when they give their cries, Sprigatito has a period, Quaxley has an exclamation point, and Fuecoco has a question mark, which makes it even better.
he doesn't know what he's doing either, which
No,
just makes him more relatable.
there are no thoughts behind his eyes, and it is amazing.
Oh geez.
Also,
I see
I
all the
looked on the
hairs.
stream. Yeah, I was about to say I just saw cat hair
I was just like
float in
all
front
the
of the
hair is just
camera.
like going right down. I'm like, it's rain. It's snowing cat hair.
This cat sheds like an entire cat off of him every single day. I swear, I have never seen a cat shed as much as he does.
That's interesting.
It's so weird. I do not understand you, Hoover. Anyway, let's get to an actual interview, and I'll just stop being dumb. This
No,
has devolved into
it's all
nothing but
good.
story time with DG.
That's what 90% of our interviews devolve into. So yeah,
Fair
I'm
enough.
done with
We're
my
all streamers. We know what
questions,
it's like.
Tubby. How about you? Do you have any questions before we open it up to the floor?
What was your favorite game to ever have played?
Yes. This is a
Yes.
question I can never answer in any variety of like, what is your favorite? Because it tends to be whatever I'm into at the time. I can
Fair enough.
say my favorite series of all time is Pokemon, because Pokemon is the reason I am a gamer, which is why I thoroughly enjoy the series. First thing I ever got was a yellow Game Boy Color with Pokemon Yellow.
It's a good starter.
Yes, I've played every Pokemon game since, except for the one weird Tactics spinoff in Trozy. I've even played the Pokemon Picross game that existed on the 3DS.
Yep.
Classics. Oh,
Pokemon
that's
is
awesome, man.
yeah, Pokemon's always been awesome. But yeah,
Yes, I've always enjoyed Pokemon. That's also why, again, backtracking even more and just more story time. That's
let's
why
go.
the reaction to Mousehold, like Tandem Mouse and Mousehold in Scarlet Violet, is absolutely hilarious to me because they're like it literally just has children. Like the evolution is they literally just have children. This is an evolution, this is procreation. And then I saw a TikTok of somebody calling it out and I'm like, "You know what? They've got a point." Because they brought up and they're like, "No. If that doesn't count, then neither does Magneton or Diglett."
That's fair. Yeah. Diglett Magneton is literally let's just put three of them together, and then Doug Trio is
Exactly.
literally let's just put three of them together.
And make them look angry.
Yep. And in the Alolan version, give them hair.
Turn them into a boy band.
All right. So,
Okay, one last thing actually,
yep.
because this is something else that I've going back to the Fuecoco is an idiot thing, and it has no thoughts. The best part to back this up, Fuecoco's hidden ability is unaware, which is amazing to me.
I love that. So, before we go into Devin's question, which Devin, is that for me or is that for uh, PG? Just double checking. How did you feel about the whole Wiglet debacle, where they introduced Wiglet and they're
It's a
like,
Pokemon.
this has no connection to Diglett at all. Like they're not even the same
I mean,
species.
let's look at that honestly. Like, that's a thing that happens. Like that's legitimately a thing that happens in nature. I mean, why do you think there's so many different like dog breeds
Mm.
at this point? Like it's just that same kind of variety. It's a kind of Diglett that has either adapted to a new region or was just an offshoot that's turned into an entirely new species. That's something that actually happens in nature.
A lot of Pokemon in Infinite Fusion looked more legit. Fair.
I mean, it's a garden eel. Like that is a legitimate animal. I saw them at Shed Aquarium.
I've
Wiglet
also
is just
seen
a garden eel.
Guardians.
Diglett is a
I'm just
mole. Wiglet is a garden eel.
I'm gonna guess it's for you. What is your favorite part about streaming, and why is it not perfectly timed soundboard clips?
Hygus there. That is Hygus is what we call him. Well, his actual name anyway. Um, and if you can't tell, he does a ton of sound alerts. What is
Never. I would have never guessed.
honestly, it's my favorite part about streaming. Honestly, is just getting to share my love of gaming with people. Like that is the whole reason I stream is I want to share my love of gaming with people, which is why I'm a variety gaming channel.
Absolutely. So, do you also enjoy the perfectly timed soundboard clips?
Yes, because they make me laugh and then
Especially,
ruin the emotional moments that is Undertale, the ending of Undertale.
Absolutely. That was like some of my favorite parts of like the ending of Undertale was just like you're getting real into it and everything, doing the voices, and all of a sudden just perfectly timed.
Emotional, damn it.
And and everyone's just sitting there like that just happened. We just
Everybody's like crying because of this emotional thing. And since I had to voice act it, I'm actually trying to put like depth and emotion behind it and then just meme.
absolutely very well done. Very well done. That was honestly my favorite part of the stream was just watching that happen.
Then just innocently hearts. I love
Absolutely.
you too, Hag.
Any other questions for PG while we still have him? Go as serious or as stupid with these questions as you would like.
I mean,
Voice
I know Grizz
acted Final
admitted,
Fantasy 9 playthrough when?
never,
Final Fantasy 9 playthrough when?
never.
Do you just not like Final Fantasy?
A Final Fantasy, those style of Final Fantasy game is just something that I probably will not enjoy streaming because I hate grinding.
That's fair.
Which is
That's fair.
also why I like to do. That's why I like the experience share, except especially for streaming, because it's to me it takes so long and it just gets so bloated.
That's fair. I can understand that. All right, so we have two questions. I'm going to ask the funny one first because I feel like that one would be quicker. Would you rather pee hair or poop teeth?
I will answer with a gross answer. Definitely the teeth thing because I am lactose intolerant and I have had a lot of horrible things happen to me, so it can't be much worse
There you go.
because of that.
Fair. I 100%. Cut. Plus, like I feel like if you peed hair, some of them would get caught, and that just wouldn't be
Oh,
a fun experience.
oh no, that legitimately just made me cringe.
But anyways, moving on. What are your plans for your community in the future? Being asked by your community.
um, I mean, I did recently join a definitely more of like a charity driven stream team, so kind of more like along those varieties of doing a lot more of the charity type stuff because that is something that uh went over a lot better with Movember than I thought it was about to, considering we
Mhm.
finished it in 9 days and we're set to go the entire month.
And you didn't
um,
give us more to shoot for.
I couldn't think of anything. Now I have ideas for things in the future. Like I'm slowly building up more ideas of things to do. One of them being as like a big goal because I don't want to do it is doing a genocide run of Undertale because I just don't want to deal
Oh
with that. It's gonna
no.
make me so mad.
No. I feel uncomfortable now.
I have made it to Sans and I made it to his final attack and then died.
I just
So like I've done it. I was committed, and then I was just like, nope, nope, no, no, no.
but that's I like I was saying it in your chat and I'll say it here too. Like I've built such a repertoire with those characters and such a love for like the depth and everything that they have to them.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
Toby Fox is like a master class in game design and storytelling,
Oh, absolutely. And
and
like
he does it all in like 6 hours. Like that is a 6 hour game, and you get that attached to these characters.
yeah, like I can't. Like I will always run a pacifist run and I think if I ever did something like yours it would be like Turk with his one chip challenge where it was like 25,000 bits and maybe I'll think about it.
That's why I'm gonna make it like a what I'm gonna assume is an unattainable goal.
There you go.
That's like donate $15,000 to this charity, and maybe with all
Absolutely.
like 8 of my viewer average.
Fair. Hey, sometimes. But yeah, so we have there someone is running a Dragon Age TTRPG campaign and would like to know if you'd like a seat at the table. You're more than welcome to answer that one here, or if you would rather answer it elsewhere, that's up to you.
I do not have the time.
There you are. He does not have the time. I'm so sorry.
Between
Um,
work, streaming, and then I am already running a campaign myself with one of my Final Fantasy 14 TikTok friends.
there you go. And
That
then
sounds fun.
Calypse coming in. Oh, sorry. What were you saying, Tubby?
I just said that sounds fun.
It does.
It is. It's entirely homebrew as well, so I have to come up with this every single time. And every single time I get to the day before and go, crap, I haven't thought of anything.
That's when my DM senses kick into overdrive. It's great. Um, how far into the future is this in your mind, and how much experience do you have running these kind of games? Oh, I think that was for okay.
Yeah, I think that was directed at Hygus.
So any other questions? I will allow two more questions. Any more questions for positivity?
I will also say, because I know Goose mentioned it, I do work in a pet boutique. A dog boutique, specifically. We
We,
sell
we got
dog,
we got to see a
mostly dog
cat,
things, and
so
a little bit of cat stuff.
we did get to see a cat, so we definitely because he was like, oh, we should see some pets and stuff, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna like force positivity to
Yeah,
show us
I mean,
pets,
we
but
saw my cat,
and we've
because
seen
we
his hairs
definitely don't
all
have the space
over.
for a dog.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
another one.
I'm still seeing them float around everywhere. They're like little landmines everywhere. I mean, I'll answer my own question that I asked Karine, since I feel like that's only fair.
Absolutely, go
Uh,
for it.
my favorite breed of dog is actually split between two, and like Karine, it's Rottweilers, but my other one is Bernese Mountain Dogs,
Oh, Burmese mountain dogs are
because they're
great.
big, they're fluffy, and they're lazy, and just want to be near you 24/7.
They would make the greatest snugglers.
They are the greatest snugglers.
All right.
Serious vibe or humoristic? I I feel like I go more for like humor and cozy. I'd say is more the vibe of my channel. Like we just kind of chill more or less. Um and definitely more into role play.
I love the question right after. What do you put on your hot dog, and why do you have bad taste?
Ketchup is disgusting and of the devil, and so is anything tomato based except for pizza sauce, so I just put on mustard.
I both agree and disagree with you at the same time because
I worked at McDonald's
mustard
as a
is
closer for
amazing.
way too long and cleaned out those ketchup dispensers. Ketchup is disgusting and of the devil, and smelling those every single night,
Okay, yeah.
mixing into that sink will ruin ketchup for you forever.
Oh, absolutely. No, 100%. Like,
Also, hilariously, hearing your one of your coworkers just randomly shout from the grill while you're taking an order, and you're like, "I really hope nobody just died back there." And you go and look, and he just has ketchup all over his face from trying to change the bag, and it exploded on him.
all right. What is your favorite meal? And I think we'll call that our last question for the night.
Yes.
Just
Listen,
food
I
in
am
general.
100% the bachelor meal vibe, or yeah, the bachelor meal vibe. I just air fry frozen foods.
I mean that is an option. It may not be the best
I don't
option. It
cook.
may not be healthy, but it's an option. But yeah.
I either don't cook or I DoorDash.
No, 100%. DoorDash, it gets expensive, but sometimes it's a lifesaver. It really is. But that is the end of this stream, or that is the end of this interview. Thank you so much, PG, for being on here with us and everything. Any
Yeah,
final
it's fun.
words or like shout outs or anything you would like to do before we get to the final segment of the night before we raid out?
Uh, Respect retail workers and tip your servers.
Yes, 100% agree. If you don't, I will find you.
If you decide to be a Karen, I will hunt you down and find you and bash you over the head with a frying pan.
And I'll be there to hit you when you wake up.
And then dump you in a Wendy's dumpster.
Got to make sure it's a Wendy's dumpster.
Has to be Wendy's.
tried IHOP once. They were never found again.
I guess if it makes you feel any better, my GM, my general manager when I worked at McDonald's, her name was Karen. She would constantly go like, I've worked at McDonald's for years upon years. I get the kind of people. They do exist, but why does it have to be my name?
Right.
And then I would constantly show her Karen memes while I was counting money because I was a manager.
There you go. There you go.
Because I am a little chaotic troll.
To its routine number of slices.
You wouldn't think I am, but I am.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So, obviously, as I was saying earlier, we do have the random number generator. And for everyone who has redeemed, you are obviously on a list. Again, that list is not known to the FBI, so no need to worry. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So we have 7 people. And we're going to generate a random number. We got 3. All right. We're going to generate again, because that person is not here. And we got 4. So, with that in mind, congratulations to Xeon Abraxas. You are our winner for this one. I'm not even sure if you're still here. If you are, congratulations. We will be getting that prize to you at some point here in the near future. It's not really a solid thing yet. We're still working on it. And here's some more kitty for you guys if you would like it. But congratulations. PG, thank you for being on with us and everything. It was a pleasure having you. But yeah, now obviously we're going to run a poll. We're going to see who you guys would like to raid. So let me see. I have 3 people. So let's make a poll and let's raid out to somebody. So our options are Cyberpunk 2077, Just Dance, and Sound. I think it's In Sound Mind. That's what this
that's
game
a horror
is.
game.
So, where are we dropping, boys?
In Sound Mind is an interesting one.
The poll is up. And have fun voting, because I love putting the decision for this into y'all's hands because it takes it out of mine. And it does look very interesting. I kind of want to try it myself.
It is a very interesting game. It also can be very confusing, forewarning.
Calypse, 100%. Do not even be sorry for trolling. I appreciate it. Ooh, we've got some very intense. No one wants to go to Just Dance, I see. All right. I'm very interested to see who's going to win. Oh, okay. I think we have a winner. I'm not going to call anything just yet, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna go raid the country, my missing co-host. Thank you for stepping up, Tubby. We appreciate you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Let's go see. Well, we would, but Sound Mind won, so yeah, we're gonna go see country instead.
Not gonna lie, I was looking over at my followed channels, being like, okay, who is this person? Who's playing this one? Who's playing this one?
I was sad no one chose Just Dance because it's Turk's birthday bash stream. I was like, hey, let's go watch Turk eat like an absolutely disgusting cake. Who's down for that? And everyone was like, oh, not me.
I mean, if I would have known it was his birthday bash.
Yeah, it's fine. But anyways,
Yes.
thank you everyone for being here. We will have another. I'll probably put a poll in the chat because I'm thinking the next one we're probably gonna do another Saturday stream for interviews because it'll be the one right before Christmas. But yeah, have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the weekend, and bye, guys.
Have a good night, guys. Thank everybody for being here.